Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. This is Dr.Rao. So, I've been talking about some of the way we evolved into this online wellness company. Um, it's called Be a Pal, as I was telling you yesterday. And I got more elaborations on the stages, how it has evolved and what it is planning to do and what it is doing. I thought I will give some clarity on that for some of the people who may have questions about how to reach us, how to really improve their life by consulting us, right? That's the idea. So the idea is to be helpful to the people. Okay. So as you know, my name is Rao Kolusu. Actually, my whole name is Hanumanta Rao Kolusu. But that became too big for a lot of people, so I kind of used the middle of Rao, which is a very common name, like John for here is a very common name in India. There are so many Raos in the class, that's why we always go by the real first name. But here it is more convenient for people to say Rao, that for other people's sake. I kind of adopted that, and I have been very happy with that. So you can always call me Dr. Rao, or you can just call me plain Rao. That's fine too. So what happened was I was meaning to tell people uh, where I came from, what happened in my career, how have we evolved into these services with this company, and all that is more like a story, probably for me at least. It's not a great story, maybe, but it is something. It has evolved into more of service, giving and loving and sharing, that kind of thing. So I don't agree with this um, merchandise and selling and all monetization and all that. I think we could serve people without so much of that, but at least people may collect money to run things. I understand, that's fine too. May do it because for livelihood, that's very good. But at my age, I think we are looking to give back, but give back in a systematic, proper way so that people can utilize the services. And our final aim is, how can we have an impact on the healthcare system? How can we make more people well, and how can we make people really realize what is wellness and how they can do that. Okay, that's where I'm coming from. So I hope this recording will reach more people, and more people will have a clarity as to who Dr. Rao is, what has happened in his life, what is the company about, what are those services, how they have evolved into whatever the services they have evolved into, what is the background behind it. Those kind of things I thought I will take time and record it. If somebody is here or not, it doesn't really matter, but I want to record for the sake of my uh, friends and followers, right? And probably I will make one of my friends, Joe Applebaum. He suggested that I record this session and make a post out of it and put it on the LinkedIn too. So we're going to do that. Hopefully, people are really able to hear me well and understand me well. And then we will edit that recording and then probably put it as a post too. As you know, I was born in India, 1955. And then I was brought up in India. My high school, my college, my medical college, everything happened in one town called Guntur. That's in the southern part of India, in a state called Andhra Pradesh. It's a very warm country, especially in the summertime. we used to have temperature go up to 117, and that was very hard at the time, we thought. But now it has become much worse than that. So at the time, the wind was a real problem. Not only the heat, but also the wind made it much worse. So when I came to Chicago, this was a windy city too, but this is cold. you know Completely opposite what I was facing in India. Okay, so I finished my medical degree in India and got my MBBS, and then I came here, and then I did my geriatric medicine, and then I did my internal medicine, and then started to practice. First, I was in emergency room for a couple of years in New York in my hospital where I got trained, Coney Island Hospital. Then I switched to emergency room attending because we were used to the hospital. And after a couple of years, I kind of switched to full-time practice, and then I came here. And ever since I've been practicing in Iowa, and I had a big clinic which I sold at the end of 2019. And right then the pandemic broke through, and I had to close that small clinic that I opened because it was nobody was coming for that, right? But I was doing a lot of online activity and a lot of COVID activity, right? So then, as I was doing the practice, 2008, I got enrolled into the um, biomedical informatics courses. There was a course called 2020, that is a 3 months course. My chief in OHSU, Oregon Health and Science University in Oregon, Portland. So we were kind of Portland, Oregon. So we were introduced to the course by him. He's a pioneer in informatics, and he's a very good guy. And then I finished the graduate certificate in that biomedical informatics, and then went into the masters and completed the masters online too. We were required to go there for 2 weeks in a couple of years, but the rest of the curriculum is 54 credits. Then we did online, and it was fun, and it was punishment also because I had to do a lot of courses which I don't have a foggy stage, the programming, the calculus, the all those things. But some things were good, like a hospital administration, like communications, like program. A lot of programs that were really familiar to me also. uh, so anyway, all that has ended in 2015 when I got my master's in biomedical informatics too. And that was also because I was really fascinated by the computers, and I was really wanted to make the patient care much easier for the patients, because it was coming very deadly with some of the handwriting, some of the data is not being transported. Somebody may travel from here to Utah, but to request the records and then to wait for the records to come, it took a lot of time. But this way, with electronic data, we can transfer all the data much quicker. That was my fascination and my understanding also. So that happened. So I was very much involved in implementation of informatics at a very early age. And probably I was mad about it. I was very passionate about it. So other doctors were mad at me because they didn't want the system to come in. But then, since I think they liked me, they didn't attack me or anything, but then they were grumbling about it. But I was there helping them, and I was learning. I was investing my time. I was learning from the experts, and then I was teaching my people. I think I learned better because I was teaching other doctors, other nurses, and all. And the nurses who came to implement the EMR system, they were all volunteers, and they learned EMR, and they became super users of the EMR, and they began to teach other doctors. But the doctors had such a big ego. they didn't want to learn from the nurses because they consider nurses below them, right? I don't have any things like that. So I was very easily understanding and trying to learn. And I went ahead of the nurses very quickly, and then I began to teach them. Okay. We went to one other hospital. So actually, our hospital is a part of a big chain of hospital, Trinity, right? Ours was the 11th hospital to implement the EMR. So 10 hospitals implemented EMR prior to us. So we had the luxury of going and seeing the sister hospital, how they did, what kind of problems they had, and all that. So that was very helpful to me personally because I was the leader. I took the team there. And then there was another political lead, and he took care of all the arrangements, but I was the informatics lead, right? So I had to know what are the problems, how could so our um, implementation was much better because we made that trip, our troop. Okay, uh, and then I began to work with the nurses. I developed a lot of rapport with the team. Then I noticed they were really stressed out by the resistance of the physicians at the time. Uh, After that, the resistance has gone down, physicians came around, and it was okay. But at that time, they gave us a lot of stress. They were fighting, they were defending, they were cursing, they were obstructive, and all that, right? So these girls, they volunteer for the job, and they're getting all the abuse and everything. So my heart went out for them. So I kind of asked them, okay, I'm going to teach you how to handle this stress in your life. So I brought them together, and so happened the library department chairman was my friend. She was there for a long time. But she kind of understood that I need a bigger avenue, so she gave me a big auditorium. The whole auditorium was full. We thought maybe 10 nurses, but the 300 people came from all the hospital, all the things. But so everybody is stressed out, obviously. So I did a program, stress management for excessive tension. I kind of named SMET, SMET, for people to. But then that was not a lecture, but more like a lecture along with demonstration of yoga poses, deep breathing, and calming the mind, all the things that I learned from the yoga system, which was helping me. I kind of, talk to them, and then we were family like. So it was not like a big program or prize, nothing. We were just done because to help people to get over that particular stressful period, and I liked it. I really loved it. That a lot of girls were sleeping better, they were not really hurting that much after that, and they began to really understand to let go of things. See, one of the things I teach even now is don't cling to anything. Yoga is that. Yoga is not clinging, but rather getting over, dropping things. Do not cling anything, right? So you don't cling to the yesterday, you don't cling to the future coming up. What you do is you pay attention to what is happening. That is, if you are in the present, if you are not clinging to the past, then you are in yoga, right? So I taught them. I showed them how to be in the present and how to be paying attention to what's going on here and now, and they were able to do that. And also I taught them how to sleep qualitatively, right? I was a physician. We were doing a lot of night calls prior to that, and I have to really discover what are the measures that I could do that will increase my quality of sleep, so that few hours, but I will rest well, so that I get up completely, um, really rejuvenated, both body and the mind. So the thing was, if you are paying attention to whatever you are doing during the day, that will help a lot not to accumulate things that you need to resolve later in dreams. That's the hypothesis. Then there are two things in yoga. One is dead man's pose. Okay, you have to lie down on the floor and relax from head to toe, one muscle group at a time. Take a breath and all. And then the yoga nidra is a complete relaxation where you really make your mind rest up completely, not think too much, right? So I kind of was successful in teaching the girls how to handle the stress, not to build the stress, and also how to sleep better. And with that, they were able to function much better, right? So that all happened, and we were very happy bunch after that. I continued that. This happened in 2008, but actual my program started in 1985 when I first came to this country and all that. But then formal shape, everything took place up in 2008, and now much more understanding into what is illness, what is wellness, why our whole system is illness oriented. It's not really wellness oriented. So once I adopted that principle, my practice really gave me a lot of satisfaction because I was able to make an impact on my patients' lives. Right? So that was important to me. And my patients were like my extended family. So I wanted them to be well. It's not just they are coming for a cough and I do a treat and go, but I take interest in their lifestyles. I take interest in all that is happening in their mind and heart and all that. Then, as I came to know them more and more over the years, I was able to help them a lot more. For example, there was this lady, she was 85 at the time. Of course, she passed away after that. But she was somebody who used to come to the clinic along with her husband, and she used to walk from the car to say, my parking lot is very close by, and then immediately they walked into the exam room very quickly, and then they sat there. She used to do that all the time. But one day I found out she came in wheelchair. You know. Then I asked her, "What happened? Did you have a fall or something?" Or she said, "No, I didn't feel like walking. My joints are achy and they're really creaking and all." 85-year-old having all of that, normally people would leave her alone. But I said, "Okay, I'm going to show you a routine where all your joints will be working in an order, and you're also working with your breathing, and you don't have to get up from the chair. You can do it in the chair and see how it does with your pains, with your energy, with your ability to get up, or maybe walk a little bit, something like that." And I showed her my program of head to toe in 5 minutes, head to toe yoga in 5 minutes. That is the title of that program. So I kind of showed it to her in my exam room, and it took me only 5-10 minutes to make her understand. Then I gave her a sheet that she could use it like a cheat sheet for that. And then she could do them. This are part of doctorate, right? And then all the other things are done. Her routine visit, her medication review, her lab review, all those things are done. And then she took that and went it. And to her credit, she did it twice a day for about 2 weeks. That program I gave. It's basically what it is you get up on the toes, lifting the heels, and then put the heels down and lift up the toes. That one for the toes and ankle, and then you kind of do some sit-ups for the knees, and then you stand on one leg and dangle the other leg for the hips, like that, so on and so forth, all the way from toes to you go all the way up to the head, right? And it takes only 5-10 minutes. Even now, I use it in my wellness club for my students to have a warm up, right? So our people who are convalescing, who had some problem and they are not able to, I use this. There are so many other varieties are there. But for example, then she did not use wheelchair another 3-4 years. For me, that is making an impact on the quality of her life. So I used to go to nursing homes, and I used to see everybody is confined to either bed or the wheelchair or the chair and not able to walk on their own. Of course, you will lose some of the power anyway. But what I learned from the yogis, why they were living up to 106, 108, and in 90s they are very active and all that. I understood a lot of things from them, right? So you don't want to allow body to develop this stiffness and all that by not moving it. That's it. Okay, you don't have to do major work, but you just move the body. Then you do not develop that stiffness, the fibrosis, all that, you know. So once that is resolved, then people can do that, and then it's better for you, you move it. So all this is like, don't wait illness go unnoticed. Don't wait illness immediately pouring medication, then it will get used to that. Use the body as its own weight. This is called functional fitness, right? Move around, pick things up, do the steps that you do. You know, if you have steps, maybe one step at a time, go if you can. You know, the other things. Anyway, gradual introduction of that kind of exercise for her resulted in very, very good efforts. My practice always had been on the motive. My practice is based not on the disease processes only. That's what we do as modern physicians. If somebody comes for some symptom, then we trace the symptom, we diagnose the diagnosis, and we kind of give the medications or treatments, what to surgery, whatever we do, right? Um, but we don't go into the origins of the disease. Suppose somebody has an infection, it's very easy for me to give them antibiotic and send them home. But then, apart from that, what are they doing to improve their immunity, to improve their vitality? Are they eating properly? Are they moving properly, sleeping properly? All those things I look at. And the more I know about the patient, the more I know how what their lifestyles are. You know, so that kind of focus on the origin of the illness really helped them not to come to me that many times, right? So I was more into education. I was more into bringing awareness all the time, and that worked well for my patients. Okay, so 4 decades or so I practiced, and then this was the underlying theme. Then I said, why should we refrain from ourselves for wellness oriented medicine when we are so occupied only with wellness? Let us treat the illnesses, fine, that is the standard thing. But before and after, why can't we focus on the patient? Why can't we involve their own relatives or somebody that they can help? All those things, or use the physical therapy, dietitian, all those things. So multidisciplinary rounds are my thing, right? So it was very useful for me, and I was able to implement that. Out of that, this company that I'm running now has evolved. This is a wellness oriented, more like a proactive and more than preventive medicine, right? That's how I envisioned this company, and it has evolved like that too. Of course, I was busy with burnout coaching, stress coaching, and teaching people about certain ancient wisdom practices, and also at the same time understand the modern breakthroughs like a genome, like a microbiome, and all that, and then bring that knowledge to my patients' well-being. So it's a combination of modern medicine. Don't leave it, don't blame it, but use it wisely. Don't pour only medications in people and make them get used to them, and then afterwards they cannot be without them. That is something I'm very much agree. But when appropriate, when it is needed, oh yeah, definitely. Especially if somebody never took care of their body, never took care of themselves, and they have come with some major illness, heart failure, and all that. Obviously, we will do all that we can do with the modern medicine to help them better. Okay. Sometimes they cannot do all these things. We may do some physical therapy a little bit and all that, but it is the productive people, young people, children, and also young adults. All those people I kind of consider. If a kid comes, I used to see kids also because I was used to seeing kids in New York in the emergency room. So they got familiar with the pediatrics. But I used to see the basic things and the fitness and all that. Then ordinary infections, diarrhea, like that. But if it was something serious, we had 3 pediatricians in the town. I used to refer them to them. So if they come for a school physical, my style was what kind of sports they are playing, what kind of stamina they have, how are they preparing their body and mind for the sport, and I was able to advise them what they should be developing on. Okay, and also make sure they don't have the habits of smoking, alcohol, drugs, and all that. And also mental. I don't know what it was that the small town I practiced in high school had so many kids committing suicide. So, because I was interested in education from the beginning, I was able to participate. I was able to talk to the dean. I was able to give them a lot of suggestions about how to deal with the lot of tension. Because a lot of those teachers are my patients too. They used to come with a lot of anxiety and they used to ask me pills because they can't take the class. So we had to work with them too. So all that drove me to really do something after my clinic kind of closed. I said online we can practice, but still I wanted to create an online wellness company that will really help people to develop inner resilience and also really work on their illnesses where they can have more control of it, or maybe complete cure, or maybe much less severe, because you can maintain them better, right? And also, there's so much happening in the modern medicine about personalized medicine, about genome therapy. For example, regular genes are there, but then there are epigenetics that are influenced by the lifestyle. So if you do a good lifestyle, you may have the genes, but they don't have to manifest. So bringing all that insight and also ancient wisdom of intelligence in our body, in our thoughts, in our mind, that intelligence, if you allow it to heal it, it will heal. But if you are doing manipulation or toxification of that, then you lose the ability of the healing response of the body. For example, I have a separate course and separate training for parasympathetic nervous system stimulation, right? This is a very important thing because a lot of people don't know, because they get anxious every day, they're getting very worried every day. They react for everything. For example, from morning to evening, they are in a hurry. They're always worried about something that's coming up or not. And then they have these deadlines to keep. They have these dangers that they imagine, even though the dangers are not there, but in their own mind. And then they go on reacting to that, and then they make a lot of goals for them, and then they cannot realize them. All that, right? Uh, that's when you are having a sympathetic nervous system. That is the fight or flight syndrome is happening in you all the time, from morning till evening. That's our modern lifestyle. Do stuff, do them fast, do them achieve them, and then they go all that hurry burry culture, right? All over the world now. It's not just in America. All over the world is like that. So people are sympathetically wounded tightly, right? And that's why blood pressure, heart attack, strokes, all these things are happening, right? There's a very simple thing that the ancient practiced: to be laid back, to be non-reactive to a lot of stimuli that they have from the environment, right? So even in the presence of wild animals, they were so calm. The wild animals lost their instinct of wildness. So that's something you could practice. How you can do it is by deep breathing. Then it will stimulate the vagal nerve, which is all the way from the top to all the way to the abdomen, and all the it's the longest nerve, right? But then deep breathing helps the vagus nerve stimulation, which is a parasympathetic nervous system, and that activation makes you less reactive, more relaxed. rest and digest system. That we call sympathetic nervous system. We call it as fight or flight. Either you stand up and fight, or you just take off and go away, flight, right? But this one is rest and digest system. That is, you don't really react that much, but you kind of rest for everything and then do it. In my wellness club in the morning, that's what I do in the morning, along with the exercises and breathing and all that. The breathing is given the topmost billing, and then we have 10 different breathing practice I make them do. But also with exercise, I cultivate the deep practice. And for the doctors and nurses, I tell them, go and work, but then every so often take a break and take deep breaths. And actually, I kind of prescribe them for that. Every 1 hour, 1 minute, stop and take deep breath and focus on the breath. Then everything comes to the present, and your whole sympathetic nervous system is wound up, will relax. And then you won't be reacting that quickly. Rather, you'll be responding to whatever the challenges that you have. So that is how we came to the conclusion that we need to help people not to react, and also take a good look at their family history, at their own past history, their own tendencies of allergies, medications, or taking their entire medical picture into control. And we can give them like a plan of find out what's going on wrong with you, and find out the root causes of it, and work with them. So I call this proactive wellness. So you got to look at yourself in a much more comprehensive way, and then look at your lifestyles, look at all that is going on with you, and then combination of modern medicine, yoga, and some of the philosophies, and some of the ancient systems of Chinese and Ayurveda, all those things, good things we learn from that, right? I myself, I use them. I'm 69. I don't have any medication on my board, and then anything comes up, I kind of most of the time I resolve them with my knowledge of anatomy, physiology, and the exercise physiology, and also the insights from the. This. My biggest thing is I can relax my mind just like that. You can learn that. It's not a big deal. But then you have to spend a lot of big deal of time to learn that, but then implement that all the time. You just because you understood, it doesn't manifest. You got to practice it. You got to actually implement in your daily life. If you do that, you can be like this. You see, I have a saying: if you want inner happiness, inner wealth, inner health, then you got to really come to us. Okay. If you want to live long, if you want to live well, and if you also want to live in joy, you can come to us. That's our. I kind of formulated that. Maybe it is cheeky, but that's what I did with the uh, logo in my company. At the end of it, every video, you will see that. Okay. So when I take wellness, I want it individual well, like I talked about, the human, that is the mind and the body, both of them. It's not just the body. Body and mind is called sharir. That is one thing. And apart from that, that spiritual light, the life that gives the animation to the body and the mind is our being. That's where my most understanding from the ancient wisdom has come about, and I pay a lot of attention to it. Modern life is more of doing stuff, not being. But when you focus on that, individual will have the personalized medicine, will have more happiness and balance and peace and love in his life. Okay, that's what we do. That's I'm just being very broad strokes, but just to understand. How about the wellness in the systems? See, like you go to a standard hospital or a clinic, what do? They are so impersonal, and they treat you like a number. You don't like it. But if they treat you like you are a person, that personality, these things are coming now. But especially when I started, they were not. They were completely numbers, right? From that, how can we make people respond to hypertension as a whole? Why so many people at tax time getting this is pretty evident. But how about those people that have rise of blood pressure during the day at work because of the stress and all that they face, and then having strokes in the work time and all? So you got to take care of them in the systems where the system care is not just responding to illness, which is obvious they have to do, but don't focus only on that, but also outreach to the community, to the house, to the wherever they are living, and then fix those factors that are contributing, especially mental health. Most of the things that happen at home in the relationship and all that, which patient may not discuss with you, he may come with a symptom of anxiety or symptom of depression. But if you look at those factors and correct them, then they will live a much more impactful, nice life for themselves, right? So that's what I wanted to address with the systems, where I was suggesting of wellness oasis, for example. So what this is I want to create spaces in the hospital where people come to visit other patients or patients themselves when they are going home. They can have a visit to the wellness center, oasis I call it, because nobody else has done it. Then you can have a deeper understanding of your diet or what you're supposed to eat, and maybe exercise, maybe sleep, all those health measures that you could do adopt as not like something like a casual information, but I call them TLC. Normally, TLC stands for tender loving care by the nurses, right? But I coined this as therapeutic lifestyles. That means these lifestyles are prescribed for you and you're supposed to do. So hospital has to spend some money and time on the dietitians, on the physical therapists, on the psychologists who are yoga masters, or any of the Chinese medicine, for example. All those people are there. You can have, or at least the resources, or at least refer them to a place where they can have these things looked at. You can't force anything on anybody, but you can introduce them with as far as I'm concerned, I teach all the physicians all that I know if they want to learn. But if they don't want to learn, I cannot push it down their throat. But I encourage them. I kind of show. They ask me, "How come you are so much energy at the end of the day when I'm working with them?" So, for example, I say, "Because I don't deplete my energy." Then I say, what do you mean? Okay, are you being negative from morning till like you got angry, or you got jealous, or you got really annoyed with people? And do you have moments like that? Yeah. Don't do that and see how your energy is. And the moment they don't have that negative involvement of their emotions, they have a lot of energy. Okay, so understanding all this will help them. Suppose I say, watch your thoughts. They say, oh, what is that? How can I watch? Calm down and then just be the watcher. And as the thoughts come, they are like a cloud in the sky. They're coming, you observe, they pass, you observe, and they go away. That way, you don't give strength to them to settle down in your subconscious. Think consciously, intentionally. Okay, all these things really help you with energy. And I have a series I've done. If you go to my YouTube channel, Energy for Entrepreneurs, I did a series of talks. Okay, you can check them out if you want. My YouTube is youtube.com/Rahul Kolusu. Simple. Okay, you'll have 400, 500 videos are there. If you want, you can look at them. Okay, so systems, wellness oriented versus illness oriented. Right now, they are all illness oriented, making money, running, and all that, but they don't really give a damn about long term health of patients. That's a fact. Insurance companies, the drug companies, and hospitals, they have become revenue generating bodies, right? And then people are falling for them. The most important thing important for them is the health, but they don't protect it. They just brainwashed by the commercial interests like that. Okay, so we did the individuals, we did the systems, we did the society, all the ills of society, and then finally, what can we do for the planet wellness? That's a big thing for me. What I found out was uh, many of the yogic traditions and other people showed me that these people are very content with a lot of simple life and very together, harmonious with the nature. Because they are so content within themselves, they didn't have to do such a consumer rampant consumerism that has spread out, because we want things, right? That's right. But once you understand the inner beauty, inner harmony, inner satisfaction by meditation, by understanding your inner life and all, that's a big deal, right? I call that self-realization, realizing our true nature. Okay, I have a fellowship for the self-realization. I just conceived and formulated. People are interested, they can take it, but it's not for everybody. Only the people who are interested will be enrolled. There will be an interview, and only certain people will be selected and all that. Okay. Otherwise, it's a waste of time for me and for them too. But if they are interested, they will go there. So, with the planet, go for more like a simple outward life and rich inward life, which really helps us to, the strength is in that, your inner nature, not in your thoughts. Okay, that's a big statement, but we can go about it later. So all these are happening with my thing. Now I want to find a health system that has a chief wellness officer who is really in charge of the wellness of their company and also the catchment area of patients, and also have a facility where I can really produce data on these things. And then suppose if I get a high blood pressure patient, I don't cut down his medications right away, or I don't start medications right away too much. I will try to be as conservative with the medication use as possible. But along with that, I will find out the lifestyles that are contributing to his high blood pressure, and then make an effort to make sure that he follows all that. Nowadays, we can follow all these people on the EMR very quickly. Even I have seen one Dutch company come and present, because I'm an informative person. I get to see a lot of breakthrough devices, personal assist devices, all those things, right? They had this blood pressure machine that they could keep it at home, and then once you record your blood pressure, it is infrared. It will be transmitting to your EMR, and then that is reflected in my clinic, wherever you are. Okay, in my clinic online, right? And then I know what is the blood pressure today and why did it go up. You may get a call if you are not in the range, right? Or it is too high, too dangerous for you, or too low, too dangerous for you. Then you get a call, and then nurse will make sure that you are okay. If you're not okay, maybe bring you in and then treat you and all that, right? So that kind of monitoring is possible. Remote monitoring, telemedicine. I was a pioneer on that. Telemedicine, I was so crazy about it when they first came in. I fought to get a robot into our emergency room, and we were able to do a lot of TPS through the neurologist with those robots. So actually, I'm a very big user of technology, but technology is only tool for me. Okay, I use my mind as a technology and the body as a technology thing. So they are very highest technological units, really. So be helpful to the planet's survival. Do our bit by, decreasing the carbon imprint on this one. So there's a whole lot of things that I talk about. I educate people. I kind of bring the awareness, and because I've been following this art thing since 80s, right? J. Krishnamurti talked about it, and a lot of England others they talked about it. I have been following them, all the nature workers, and then following all the meetings that are going on, all that. And a very uh, um, not very impressed with their efforts. But I'm not depressed about it because the young people have a good idea about what's going on. They're not buying all these false promises and they want to do minimalism. I strongly encourage people to be minimalistic in outward things, right? Um, so that's in the view of trying to, you don't have to really forego anything. You just use your discretion. For example, you are going to the grocery shop. Don't go and get things in a plastic bag. Carry a cloth bag. Put all your groceries in there and come. You'll be doing a good service for the planet Earth. Okay, don't waste water because so many people around the world don't have water. Okay, or do the all the time something like a how can I save things and how can I make them reuse again. All those practices. For that, what is needed is awareness. Awareness of what is the importance of these things for the planet, awareness whether I'm doing them or not, or am I completely unconscious about this and then I'm continuing the same behaviors that are hurting the planet. So my one term of wellness involves from inner resilience for the entrepreneur or for the physicians and all that to burnout coach and all that to change the systems to go more for the wellness, and then the society underlying ills understand and don't contribute to them. It's the same with the planet too. So how are we going to do this is I have written books, I have to edit, I have to make them publishable and then put it there. But most of the talks were there and most of the writings were came out of them too. And there also some of the clarity came because I was writing the ebooks. And then now I have a designer, I can do that in there. So I have the Google Doc downloaded, and then immediately it becomes so that way it's all prepared there. I have to focus on that. I have courses, I have master classes, I have webinars that I have done. So many talks I have done with some of the podcasts. People invited me. I did my podcast by myself, but I am not continuing that because of the lack of time. I should get into that too. Revise that. It's already there. Everything is there. Then website also I have to revamp that, and social media I have to revamp that a little bit, and so it goes on. So I was wanting to put this into some kind of comprehensible thing for people to see what is he talking about wellness, why is he talking about wellness, what kind of services he has, what kind of facilities he has. I have a yoga studio in my basement where I do yoga through the Zoom with other people. I used to do it on all the media on the like this. This is a talk, but I used to do the exercise in the morning. Clubhouse also I put it there because they can listen and do it. And then Instagram, they used to see me on the video. And of course, other things also there. The stream now I have right now on my TV. I am broadcasting video and not live, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. My group is called Conquer Burnout. That's the group. Okay, and then on my iPhone, Clubhouse, on my iPad, Wisdom app. So convenient, 1 hour every day I'm doing it. But I also participate in other people's presentations and go there attend to them. This has gone down because of the lack of time, and I was busy in the morning too. So if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, you can always send them to me, or you can come and talk here. It's up to you. But there is a structure of what we want to do. I am dedicating my life right from the beginning for the wellness and the planet. For the whole thing becomes only one thing: wellness, right? So individual wellness, especially body, mind, and how you take care of your body, and mind is very important, and we do that too. We do the hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is a physical yoga. So I've developed programs for the entrepreneurs, for the old people, for the young people, for the women, for the pregnant women, for the people who have undergone different medical procedures, heart problems, bypass surgery, or people who have strokes, or people who have diabetes, any number of things, right? Mental illness, big deal, because I don't really think modern system is helping the mental health, because it is stationed on the thought, but thought is producing the mental illness. How can you ask somebody who is producing the disease, ask you to cure it? So it is not going to happen, right? But ancient systems are based on awareness, that is behind all the thought. So yoga teaches you what is it after thought. Once you transcended, you are using it deliberately with yours. What is that you? So bring forth the awareness, and in that use the conscious thought. That's my style. But it's a very difficult thing, I know. So that's why I talk to people. I make them slow it down. I make them deliberately enjoy nature and start from the morning till evening. The routines I talked about, right? So anybody has questions, they can always. And there's a wellness club that you can also sign in. That's done on Zoom, so where I can see the people and I can correct them if they have some problem instead of. So couple of things I indicated to my students in the last few days may illustrate a point for you. As they come to stretch, to do the asanas, there's the postures, yoga postures, various varieties, and also you can customize these from for the baby all the way to very, very, very frail old man. That's the beauty of yoga. But you have to know who has to be given what and how severely they can practice, or how the length of staying in the same stretched posture depends upon so many things. We teach what's called swa adhyaya. Swa means self, adhyaya means study. That means when you assume a posture, you study the reaction of your body, and then thereby you adjust. Body is way intelligent than you. So if you can really understand that, and you can modulate the severity according to your tolerance, that's a safe way and slow but steady way. But you got to do rather regularly these exercises, otherwise they don't work, they don't get better that easily. Okay, so I kind of embed everything into lifestyle, so that way you don't feel like you're doing exercise. When you come to my class, you'll feel like I'm so energized after this. I use five things: AEIOU. A is you get more aware, alert, right? You are not sleepy, or you are taking, all that is don't be there. Okay, alert. And E, you will be more energized for sure. Okay, this that becomes because of the um, deep breath, more oxygen going more to the peripheries. That's why you become more energetic, more metabolism, more energy production, and more of detox that happens. Okay, AE. I is you will definitely get an insight, either a philosophical thing or some wisdom, or insight into your own conditioning of the body and the mind. Okay, AEI. O is there is a mathematically structured sound that is universal, primordial sound. That is Om. Okay, it's not really belongs only to Hindus. No, it has. They have adopted it, but then there's a lot of science behind it. Okay, so I make them do the chanting of that at the end of the breathing practices, and then U is really connecting to the universe, not thinking I'm separate and everything else separate. Everything is one. And you will come to that slowly. You don't, nobody is going to push on it. So these five things people realize. Okay. So all these services, maybe there is some more doubts or some more non-clarity. I will be happy to clarify to people who have questions about them. And then I'm going to record this. Obviously, it is recorded already, and I'm going to make sure that it's all compiled in some sense of um, comprehension, and then publish it on a LinkedIn post and also a newsletter. I have newsletters. LinkedIn newsletter. Go and read them, but I do them as I please. It's not like I do Saturdays and all. Whenever I have time, I do it, and then I kind of distribute it. I enjoy my life. I kind of enjoy teaching. I enjoy working with people, and also I enjoy exploring myself and understanding, learning more, and all that. So uh, there is a affirmation I used to use when I got up in the morning. That's more like as I'm going to be in the present all day, moment to moment, right? And I'm going to give to the world with a smile, not thinking what is going to come for me and all. That's a big deep philosophy there. And then I don't want to think too much, and I don't want to expect anything from anybody. This affirmation is a longer version there, but then that's the essence of five things: being in the present, giving with a smile, not to overthink, and not expect anything from anybody. Okay. I can go on like this. So many things we use to help make an impact on people's lives, not with the intention of really converting them into anything, but more like stimulating their intelligence to think for themselves, to discover for themselves, to understand themselves. All those things are really what we should be doing, actually, as whatever we do. Hopefully, I made some sense to you. It's almost 1 hour now, so I will stop here, and then we will see you again tomorrow. Okay? Anybody on the wisdom, you could come and ask me any question if you want before I close. By the way, why this was brought about was I was invited to a thought leadership groups. Okay, and then I was participating in LinkedIn, and uh, thought means not too much thought. You got to have a understanding about what is thought, what is beyond thought, and how we can use thought properly, and also how we can communicate our understanding. Right? Thought just going deep doesn't give you wisdom, insight into things. Lived experience does. Okay, so you bookish knowledge is all thought. So you got to let the bookish knowledge be the finger to the moon. It directs to that. But if you just concentrate only on the finger, you will not see the moon. Right? So it's not that I did not study books and all that. What I'm saying is outward scientific knowledge, bookish knowledge, technology, that's all good. But when you turn the thought inward, I think that's where the difference is. You got to be intuitively aware of what's going on within you. Nobody need to tell you anything. Okay, so that's what I do with my students in the wellness club. Anybody wants to join that, you can go to my website, bapal.net/register. Under that, I think that's going to be revamped, but then there is a wellness club membership too per month. I put it like a peanuts. But then they'll learn a lot. If you really have to spend a lot of money, it will be in thousands. I can assure you that. But the main idea is to really help people improve their energy, their mental state, and their harmonious mingling with everybody, and not being lonely, not being suicidal, not being anxious. All those things will go. you can live in joy and bliss. I've been telling people about that ever since because that's a personal experience. Okay, there's nothing to be rave about or egotistical. Actually, you have to transcend the ego to really touch these deeper states. Okay, that's a fundamental thing in all religions, anyway. But people, whether they are transcending the ego or they're saying me and mine. If they say me and mine, then they are in ego, right? So thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.